welcome back. In this video, we are going to see about record class. So, record class. A record class is a concise way to declare classes that are primarily used to store the immutable data. So, immutable classes are basically the classes like to whom if we have defined any value, we cannot change the value of that particular thing. Like string is an immutable class. Like if we have defined some value to that string, if we try to change that value, a new object will be created. Okay. So that is basically the immutable. So record class is basically used to create the immutable classes kind of a thing. Okay. So it aims, like the main purpose of record class is to reduce the boilerplate code by automatically generating the methods such as equals method, hashcode method, toString method and constructors based upon the fields that we have defined in the class. So previous to this, whenever we are creating the class, whatever fields we have, we used to create the constructor, or we used to create the toString method, equals method, hashcode method, we used to override it. Okay. But with the record class, we don't have to do all these things. It will be done by the Java itself or by the record class itself. Okay. So now we will quickly move on to our Spring Tool suite and we will see how we can create a record class. Okay. So yeah, here we are on our Spring Tool suite. We have a class called person and the person main where we have just the main method. Okay. So first of all, we will make this class as a record class. Okay. So what we have to do is instead of this class, we have to use this record variable. Okay. Record keyword. And then we have to use here, we have to define the like fields on which like what all fields should be there in this class, like string name and int age I'm going to have. Okay, that's it. So this is our record class. Now here if you see here, the here R is written on the top of this, if you see on the J. Okay, so this basically means it's a record class. Okay, so now if we go to the person main and we try to create the object of this person class, I mean person record class. Here if you see, we are by default we are getting this constructor where we can pass the name and integer age, but whereas we have not defined this kind of a constructor here, right? So it basically says like it is removing the boilerplate code where we have to explicitly add the constructor, right? The argument constructor. So here we don't need to add because it is been taken care by the record class. Okay, so now I am adding like the name of the person as a John and his age I'm adding as a 32. So now suppose I want to get the name, I want to print the name. So here I can just use person dot get dot name. So it will give you the name, whereas we have not declared any getter or setter method, right, in the person class. So that is also been done by the itself, by the record class itself. Okay. Now suppose I want to print the whole object, the person object, like what all values are there. So previous to this, if we have to return this, I mean it used to give us some hash code or something, right? Some value it used to give us. We have to override the toString method, then only it used to give us what exactly values are there in this particular reference, right? So but with the record class, we are not going to, we have not overridden the toString method, but it will give you the value by itself. Okay, so let's run this program. Yeah, so here if you see, we have first of all not created any argument constructor, but the argument constructor is been created by the record class itself. Okay, and here the second case, we have not defined any getter setter method, but that is been created by the itself, and we have not overridden any toString method. So here if you see, that is also been done by the record class itself. Okay, so now this is how we can use the record class. So as we know, the record class is immutable class, right? So which makes it the best candidate for the hash map key, because if we want to make any object, any Java class as the key of the hash map, so we have to override the equals and hashcode method, and that particular class should be immutable, right? So if we have to make any class as the key of the hash map, so we can use the record class, because record class which will make it the immutable, right? So this is all about the record class. If you like the video, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you.